Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 18. My Salika is now 5 stars, so now she'll get 3 choices whenever she does any swapping over skills. Besides that, I've been on a losing streak, because all the boxes are, well, I won't say they're the same, but they are definitely very, very optimized, we'll put it that way. Namiya was able to one-shot my Lightbringer, which was pretty crazy. I didn't even know that was possible. And the rest of it was usually some shenanigans using electric headbands, so I couldn't really use any of the pole mechanics from Ice Melda. And a lot of my opponents seem to like to first pick Jace, which is always annoying. As for our opponent, look, there's Jace. So yeah, pretty reasonably meta for the most part. It's not... Yeah, I mean, compared to other ones I've ran into, this one's not a full-on rush box or anything like this. This is pretty balanced for the most part. They banned my Namiya first, which I'm not sure why, but I'm happy about that. So I go ahead and ban their Zolde, and I grab my Zolde. Alright, they banned my Silvaria, banned my S18, and of course they picked Jace. Alright, go ahead, ban Andriel, ban their S18, because I definitely don't want Jace to have Act Again, so I've already learned that lesson. And I grab my Ice Melda. So there's a chance that this Jace could have Electric Headband on him, in which case I will have no way to pull him away. But it's a risk I have to take at this point, because my other options are not going to be viable either. So they ban my Rose Seal, ban my Awakener, or the Awakened one, sorry. They take their Rose Seal, which I'm completely fine with. I ban their Ice Melda, get rid of their Awakened one, grab Salika. They ban my Gren Shield, ban one of my tanks. They grab Namiya. So at this point I was like, alright, well, let's ban this guy. I can't remember his name, but he's annoying, but I get rid of him because he's a tank. Go ahead and get rid of Lightbringer or not Lightbringer, but Sword and Light and Shadow while I'm at it, and I'm hoping my opponent will pick a tank instead. And then I can get rid of whatever else I want. I go ahead and grab Liana, so I have 2 healers, one of them with an Act Again. And they banned my last 2 of my tanks and leave me with Hilda. They grab Lightbringer. I go ahead and ban their Salika, ban their Lina, and everything else they have I'm completely okay with. So grab my tank, and we'll go to town here. Alright, so we got Liana, usual stuff, 3C, Windbloom Chanters, all that good stuff. Isolde, all of her exclusives with Star Prismas. Hilda, I went with Templar Knights because I'm more concerned about the magic damage than I am anything else. Namiya's going to probably blast me regardless. Besides that, it's all of her exclusives, including her faction buff. She can only faction buff herself, which is fine. We got Salika here. I did swap out the weird enchant activation buff for mass heal, just so I can double up on heals, just in case I get double blasted with both Namiya and Jace's AOE. And then Ice Melda here. We got single target. Yeah, all of her exclusives was including her single target ability. Besides that, yeah. So they got Namiya. They do have Cruel Volley and 3C and Aim with Wild Expedition Archers, which you don't see as often. I've got Jace here with Fairy Spirit Prophets, all of his exclusives. Pretty much generally the go-to for him is he'll pass his first turn to place his terrain thing, and then he'll teleport, then use this thing to essentially trap us in a vortex that will do passive magic defense debuff, and then he'll teleport back, and then he'll teleport again, and then do his single target that will bypass guard when you have a magic debuff. That's usually the gist. Anyway, and then of course we got Elma here with all of her exclusives and Shrine Maidens. We got Rosenseal with all of her exclusives and Shrine Maidens. And then we got Lightbringer with Fanguards, Strength and Discipline, and 3C. So yeah, pretty much the goal here is just to keep Isolde alive long enough for me to deal with Jace. And that's generally all I can really do. So I go ahead and open with Primordial Soul. I go ahead and do, I go, of course, do the cooldown reduction first. And then I do opt to go ahead and put up Draconic Rejuvenance, just so I can get some buffs. Now, this isn't the best idea, because usually my go-to for Celica is to use this cooldown reduction. And unfortunately, the Awakened Will has priority over Primordial Soul, it looks like. So unfortunately, that causes me some problems. So I can't cool down what I actually want to cool down. Alright, so this Jace does not have Electric Headband, so that's good. Go ahead and just buff in place. The annoying thing about Hilda is her faction buff is by itself. It isn't tied to her guard, so she has to spend a round just buffing, and then she can get up her guard. All right, act again. So again, I'm just trying to get these buffs cycled as quickly as possible. Now, the neat thing here was getting the Tenyo Breeze on Ice Melda, because that gives me a lot more flexibility on where I can go. I'm still out of range of everyone else, but that's completely fine. So Jace sets up there, not much I can do, so I'm just going to pass in place. Go ahead and buff herself and Isolde. Alright, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and do 3C on Isolde, so now she can self-res. And she also will get the secondary cast of everything she does now. So I'm going to go ahead and do cooldown reduction on Liana, which will reset her act again. And this will refresh her Draconic Rejuvenance. So yeah, I actually failed to notice this. Her taking a step forward pretty much does put her in range of Ice Melda here. So I was actually really confused when I did realize this, because I wasn't sure if Namiya had some sort of weird, like if there was some sort of like displacement negation aura or something. So I kind of just passed some turns. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna hang out. So that sets up a strengthen. And I still don't notice. I'm like, alright, I'm just going to do my 3C now, switch to Spear class for no reason. And then my opponent does this, and I don't know what the plan here. Oh, actually, I see what the plan was. The plan was just to stack as many buffs as possible, it looks like. So yeah, as you can see, skill damage, AoE damage, attack damage. Yeah, my opponent's just trying to stack as much damage as possible to make this go. But at this point, I do notice what's going on, and I go ahead and opt to do Chilling Thrill here, pull her up. I do take some fixed damage, unfortunately, because of the Light Mirror. So I go ahead and just shift down. I attack in melee range. And since she's already chilled, and that can't be reflected or immunized, I do have First Strike. And for those who don't know, I do have Spirit Boots on Ice Melda, so that's why she's able to take those extra steps. So Jace goes ahead and opts to do this, which is actually really good, because he doesn't have any way of reducing cooldowns. Both the healers have Shrine Maidens. They don't have the Windbloom Chanters. So Jace is over here. Now, one thing to note at this point is I'm gonna have the negate bypass guard will on Isolde next, and they don't have any. And this kind of reset the action order a little bit. Actually, it doesn't really matter because I have an act again, so I can get set up anywhere I want. I have the extra mobility thanks to our accessory, and I can just get set up to kill Jace now, which is pretty much all I can do. Of course, I don't really realize that until now, pretty much. But yeah, at this point, I can move an extra 4 steps because her bubble act again, move again is reset as well. So yeah, with all that, I'm good to go. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna move up. Don't care about being in guard range at this point. All right, and then I just move up with Primordial Soul. and go straight for kill. No fixed damage immunity. And it looks like I have first strike. And there you go. Took out both their DPS. I'm good to go. And that is battle. So yeah, that seems to be the case. It's either I get completely wrecked very quickly, or I end up against an opponent like this that either makes a mistake or they're way behind in power level. In which case, I kind of just slaughter them. I don't know if I'm going to make it to gold 3 though at this rate, because unfortunately the losing streak kind of reset my my points at this point. I essentially have gained 2 points from this week, but like I mentioned before, I don't really care about the gold 3 skin, so maybe I'll just endure and just do what I can. I did go ahead and get some electric headbands set up, just because that is a pretty good counter against Ice Melda. So I may consider swapping those in to kind of help out a little bit. Besides that, though, I'm kind of just waiting for the new LLR character that's going to be coming out, I think, next month. She's definitely going to be thrown into the box because she's pretty good. She has a lot of healing, a lot of damage, and she does have some ways to guard bypass, which is pretty neat. So hopefully I'll be able to change out the box. Also, she does provide, Light of Glory or whatever it's called, faction buff finally for female characters. So besides that, I guess that is it for this week. So I am the Depressed Hero. This was Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 18, and I'll see you next week.